Hello and welcome to the Growth Diaries, day 1. Today has been quite the emotional day for me. I am definitely at a point in my cycle where things are a little bit more on the emotional side. Work-wise was productive. I really love graphic design, and I always end up in these graphic design holes where I decide I wanted to design the what's it called, that banner on YouTube. And I decided I wanted to start this because I've been thinking about YouTube for a while, and I really want to share what it's like to firsthand go through this personal growth journey that I'm going through, because some days are fabulous and other days are really hard. And today I ended up spending too long designing in Canva, and I'm not super happy with the result, but something that I've worked on a lot in this personal growth journey is perfectionism. I am definitely a recovering perfectionist, and it's never going to be perfect, ever. There's no such thing as perfect, and things are never going to be that way. So if you are happy with something, just do it. And if there's things about it that you don't like, it can always be changed again later. That's the other thing about entrepreneurism, that along with the perfectionism that I've been dealing with a lot, is that there is no perfect and everything can be changed. So whatever you settle on, it's totally okay if you change things later. Definitely that's also something that I've been working on a lot, because I have people in my life who always kind of bounce from thing to thing, and other people in my life who criticize them for those actions. I think society expects you, especially when you are going to school, for example. They expect you in high school to know what you want to be when you grow up. And I don't know, very few people know, I feel, what they want to do. I went through high school thinking I wanted to be a musician. Then I went to university for music. Then I developed tendonitis in my arm and I couldn't play anymore. I couldn't play my instrument anymore. And I didn't have the confidence to go through with voice. So I had to leave the music program. And then I just got whatever BA, because people tell you oh, it's better to have a university degree than a college degree. So I stuck it out and I got my Bachelor of Arts in Humanities, which I thought was interesting because I love learning about people and how they work, and this is basically learning about all these different topics throughout history. So Humanities was definitely quite interesting, but I finished that. But then you can't really do anything with a Bachelor of Arts in Humanities, and I thought I wanted to be a teacher, and I didn't get into teachers college, and I was so big on, if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. So I thought that was the universe's sign of saying, you're not meant to be a teacher. So I was like, okay, well, what else am I gonna do? So that's when I decided I love planning events, which is why I have one of my girl boss streams is an Etsy shop where I sell printable theme parties, because I love parties. So I went to school to do event planning, and then halfway through that, I realized that I could still work in the music industry, but just not be a musician. That there's a whole backside of people that deal with artists, management and record labels and stuff. So then I left that because my passion was music. And then I went to music school, and that was a full year program, not 8 months, it was full 12 months. And I graduated that with honors, and then I got a job in at a record company. I ended up doing accounting, which wasn't event planning, but I was so excited to be there. I worked there for 5 years. I got to do so much fun stuff. My point is, this was such a random tangent, but my point is, you don't know what you're going to be doing when you're in. I could never have predicted when I was in high school that I would have gone on that path and that I would have then worked several jobs after that, because I got too old for those late nights in the music industry. And I just feel like you can't always know when you're in high school what you're going to do later. And I even feel now like whatever I'm doing now may not be what I'm doing later. So my point is, you don't need things to be perfect, because things are always going to change. So I spent a bunch of time working on a banner, is that what it's called? My YouTube banner. Worked on that, and then I ended up I'm done now, Motel Makeover on Netflix. So good. I love those girls. So cute. It really makes me kind of want to go to their motel. But yeah, so that was really fun. And yeah, I worked on a bunch of content ideas. I worked on this idea for the YouTube channel, and it was really nice. And then I'm dealing with this thing right now my husband and I live in a 1-bedroom apartment in Toronto, and it's a non-smoking building. However, my neighbor is smoking on the balcony, and then I think, has been smoking in his unit because we can smell it in our unit. So that's been a bit of an issue. It's such a trigger for me because my father used to smoke in the house when I was growing up, and I hated it as a child. And I felt at the time like I had no choice, like I had no power in the situation, because he's the parent and I am the child and I have to live there. And so I can't leave. Literally my whole life this happened. So I couldn't leave. I couldn't do anything. And it was one of those things where the adults in my life were like, well, you have to just suck it up and deal with it. So it's really bringing up a lot of memories to have to deal with this. And on the one hand, I feel like it's all part of my personal growth journey. The universe probably meant for this stuff to get unpacked at this point in my life. And while I'm grateful for the growth opportunities, I'm grateful to remove these old thoughts and shed them and move on with my life. In the moment when you're dealing with these things coming up, remember always that the universe isn't going to give you something that you can't handle. So always remember that. This is as much for you as it is for me. But it's always hard in the moment because you think, why is this happening to me? And you're not usually going to know in the moment why it's happening to you. It just is. And I guess that's the funny part about the lessons, because it's you're meant to go through it, and then afterwards, that's why they say hindsight is 20/20, because afterwards you're like, oh, that's why that happened. So I don't know why this is happening. I have theories on why this is happening, but it's always best to just kind of ride the wave and not try and figure out where it's gonna go after. Just kind of just ride it and use the tools that you have and do the best that you can with the situation that's given to you, and you're always going to get through it. Like I said, the universe isn't going to give you something that you're not ready for. And so whatever you're going through, you're absolutely meant to be going through it, whether that is to remove some blocks or to push you in a certain direction or I don't know. Like I said, don't try and predict what the universe is trying to do, because it could be something completely different than anything that you could imagine. But my husband and I definitely are thinking of moving, but we have a lease until the end of the year. So we were originally going to move next year, because we do have our rescue fur baby and we do take him for 4 or 5 walks a day. But I would love for him to have a backyard. So we're definitely looking at moving. We're feeling that all out. And I've been on such a real estate kick where I just keep looking at prices and like what the houses look like and where I want to live. And I definitely know like what my dream home looks like, but realistically, financially, we could probably go from a 1-bedroom apartment to like a 2 or 3-bedroom townhouse. So baby steps. And I'm totally happy with the baby steps. I feel like the universe has always given me those baby steps. I feel like there haven't been very many like giant leaps in my life. I feel like I'm really comfortable with baby steps. So I don't know. I'm definitely open to what the universe has to offer. So I think that's pretty much it. This is the Growth Diaries, day 1. And it's almost time for bed, so I'm gonna sign off for now. Thanks for paying attention, and subscribe if you want to see more.